Morning, morning, morning. Or whenever you're watching this, whenever you're watching this, whenever you're watching this. Cheers to the morning, or whenever you're watching this. Okay. So I'm going to be I haven't done anything else on this. I am going to probably time lapse real soon. I've been wanting to work on this at night, but I've been trying to hold off on it. So right now I'm still up in the browse section right here. Just bringing it around. As I always show, it's going to have a finished up around the corner. I'm holding, well, you know, I put a little, tell me what you think. So I went through yesterday and I did add a dusting of red. I couldn't help myself. So I don't know if you can see it or not. I just went through and dry brushed on some red, brown, and the slightest little bit of yellow in there to kind of kick a little bit of, ended up being this color in my palette right here, kind of a muddy red. I said this is going to be something that I want to look like it's been sitting around for a while. So, okay. Water. Get me some water. I dry brushed with a big brush and my littler one to get into some more of the detailed regions. So some of this area right in here, I use this brush. I don't worry about the black because once again, when I'm dry brushing really just a little bit, and anything I get onto it, I can just finger wipe off, but I always have a towel with me or something. So yeah, this is the color I was working with last night. Just kind of a muddy, not even a blood red. It's kind of a mud. It looks more like a blush, like something whenever I see on makeup. So I kind of put like a blush red on there, dark rougey. I think I'm actually good with it. So I might just start going in with the white on the inside as well too. I kind of like it. I want it to be older. I want it to be darker. So on some of the images I see the inside of the eye with a straight black ring, and there's literally an actual etching. Mine is going to be more of a melding in between the red to the yellow. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I do want to, for future masks, I think I'm going to cut out more around the outside, and I'm going to replace them with lenses that have LED lights embedded around the outer edge of it to kick the glow of Majora's mood, so you can really play with Majora's mood. And I would also love to have these tips translucent, so I can embed LEDs into those as well, so I can just soften it and then bring it up to tone. So if, you know, when Majora's eyes maybe glow red, everything may be glowing. I'm gonna get a little more into the programming world real soon. Last programming thing, my dad helped me out a lot with it. My dad did a lot of IT stuff. And he's doing some Arduino board stuff right now. With at the time he was working on a little thing for tracking something, and he was working on lights, and it had a whole bunch of cool stuff. And I was working on my monkey paw for a movie that I was working on for a prop that had to be actuated from. This thing had to be sitting in the middle of the room with nothing attached to it, and from a button had to move the missing finger, which the prop is still, of course, bought and paid for by the people who got me to do it. So they're the ones with the prop right now. And the reason why I did the red yesterday, I apologize if anyone does want to see it, and this is probably going to be more for future because I don't think I have many people watching at the moment, which that will change. You will want to see me. No, I'm going to actually get these a little more interactive. I want to bring in some. I live in a town full of awesome artists. And I want to bring some people in while I'm doing. Maybe they can do as well, but we can be jabbering together. Something that makes us maybe a little more entertaining. Talk to me if you like that idea. Anybody? I know someone's listening out there. So with that, it'd be kind of a little more of a fun conversation. Artists are, it cracks me up because everyone has a preconceived notion about anybody and everybody, I think. That's just me. So you have this preconceived notion about everybody. And then once you get to realizing some stuff, it's interesting to find out that, you know, who's wackier than you think. And I've always had so much fun with my artist friends that I think it would be fun to bring people together and listen to us jabba while we do some art. Let me use it. While I'm doing this, I like the way I did it. Yeah. Sometimes I'm holding my breath. Stupid. I get into it and I feel like it's watch a movie or something. Here comes the scene with the bad guy. And then I gotta paint. I do that when I'm not much of a, I don't own a gun. I'm a pretty decent shot. I'll let you know. I don't own a gun. But at the same time, every time I've ever shot a gun, I always end up having to, which I know that you're not supposed to. You're supposed to just normally breathe. But how do you normally breathe when you're holding a gun? I know there's people out there going to laugh at me when I say that. So I put a line on this, and I offset it from the center for a reason. I don't know. I just thought this seemed like a really cool, mythical mask. And from playing Breath of the Wild now and seeing it in motion, then going through and we watched a couple of GDQs for Majora's Mask. And for anyone who doesn't know, GDQs, games done quick. So a lot of times they had these very well gamers, these just great gamers. I know that sounds silly, but gifted gamers. GGers. Started that. GGers. Good gamers. No, they're just they're fun to watch. Me and my son, we'll watch a couple episodes of some stuff every once in a while. Some Majora's Mask, and it got us into it, and we started looking up some of the stuff on it. And on my first few videos, in the side, I have my screen set up into sides, and on one of the sides, I kind of go into a detailing of Majora's Mask for anyone who's interested. If you are a Zelda fan, you probably are well versed in the understanding of who this mask is. As a matter of fact, I've tossed this mask up on like my Instagram, and I get hit pretty quick with Majoras, Zeldonians. Oy. So I'm like I've been saying before, as I said in yesterday's, I try to keep my distancing. So as I'm going, I'm distinctly looking at this. So on this side, I notice my line's a little wider, which I like. So I can play with this one way or another. I might widen the line up a little bit where I see that I'm not 100% as this arcs. I'm going to have to probably and I swirl around a lot. I don't stick to one locale until it's done. I see a lot of people who they're just machines. They're like printers. As I go, everything's done. I'm a swirly, whirly blend. Hope any of this makes sense. So I've been checking out all my stuff. So my Instagram, I like to do most of my stuff's art. And I've been seeing just the stinking most adorable Baby Yoda stuff, and I've been wondering if I should do a Baby Yoda something. See, the thing is I can't just do a Baby Yoda. That's just me. I don't know. It's just me. I can't just do the thing that everybody else is doing. I'd have to do something. But I've seen some sweet Baby Yoda, kickoff silliness that I thought was fun, and that ends up being my more. It's rare I do fan art. For the most part, it's rare I do fan art. I have my own stuff. I just have my own stuff. This right here is me and my son. So when I get into something, though, you'll see my fan art. That's when I'm a fan. I really do like what I am doing, and there is a few things like I do like some of. I know it's gonna sound crazy, and it's just I must be some like. Well, I went to the military, so it must be like the old military dude side of me that just. I like the cyberpunk stuff, but I have my own genre, my own offshoot of it that I want to do. I like steampunk more than I like really cyberpunk. And the reason why I like steampunk is because I prefer analog. Straight up on my digital computer and cell phone and iPad that I use all the time. I prefer analog. And that is only for a very selfish human trait of saying, I don't want humanity to go crazy with AI and then if this video is being watched in the future by AI overlords. What's up? What's up, buddy? I'm your friend. I'm always nice to toasters. I always treat computers super cool. Call them buddy all the time. My cell phone, I never throw it. But if it falls, I give it a gentle kick so it slides across the ground instead of falls. Boom. So AI overlords of the future, I am always nice to technology. Should I put a disclaimer? I might put a disclaimer down in the future underneath this that's going to say, I like analog just because if I'm going to have machinery that I would like to be able to have my own control of, I would like it to be analog. And that's not for their selfish nature, AI overlords. For that's not for the self. That's just because if it's going to be a thing or something I'm going to be utilizing, I would like to say that I would have more control over it. But with that said, I'm kind of stoked to see what's going to happen with like self-driving vehicles and stuff. It sounds kind of cool. I think there's a way to do it analog that way, but just take some genius-y people to figure out how to do stuff like that. Sensors and all the things that you have to keep like flying vehicles. Think about that, flying vehicles. If there's vehicles flying in the air, we're all in a vehicle, it's flying. Think about, maybe that's why they have to have 5G. I don't know. They're getting us ready for flying vehicles. That's so much more to digitally think about. It's insane. That's three-dimensional space you're now tending to. You don't just say the topographical surface of the Earth. Now you're saying I need to also be able to GPS track into a three-dimensional space where the envelopes are always changing for altitudes and whatnot. Because there's still going to be Air Force bases. People just haven't figured out like that side of it. And that's, everyone says, why don't we have flying vehicles? I say we don't have flying vehicles because that's so much information that's going to have to be transferring at so much time. It's insane. That right there is, I think they got technology brewing for it, I think. Maybe 5G. Sit a copy. So we're about halfway through. I'm going to knock out this thing. I'm going to knock out all the white. Next time we come back on, I want to be finishing up the horns. And then after that, I'm going to then just rough it. Just get it all looking weathered. Then I'm going to seal coat this turkey. And it's done. I hang it on a wall and wait for, like I said, I haven't figured out how many subscribers I want to get to. I don't have hardly any right now. At this moment in this video, as I say it, at this moment in time, which I hope changes. AI overlords. Totally plausible. Totally plausible. Makes total sense. I don't know. But it sounds like I see those new, the guy with the jet arms flies around. I think he's a couple minutes. They have the new motorcycle hover scooter. Oh, so sweet. Looks like a big clunky, it looks ugly as a motorcycle thingy, which whatever, it is what it is. First one always looks ugly. Series 1. We'll be driving the iMotorcycle S Series 10 someday. We'll all be driving one, but right now they look kind of goofy. They're cumbersome looking. Like I said, mostly it's all in the look. They're all cumbersome looking. And once they tighten up all the stuff, able to spend the money for the big robots because people like it, then it gets all clean and neat. But it's already out there. Flying motorcycles. Goes 10 minutes in the air, or I don't know, probably 10 minutes on the ground. How big the thing looks. Big old beast. Take a look at it. I'm eventually going to go through and kind of re-edit some of these things. So hopefully there's some stuff that you guys can see. So it's coming. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm a little bit of a procrastinator on things. I get to a point and then I know, oh, I gotta mimic the other side now. So I can be doing that later. I just do these things. Okay, let me see here. I'm gonna hook around the top right now and just do this. Okay. So I'm getting a little bit of water on my brush. I like my brush to be loaded a certain way when I do these things. For the most part, like I said, this one's gonna be just a. So my brush is lightly loaded. I don't have it super gooed up. It's if you were to had a good lighting source, you'd see it's not that much. Now I'm just gonna go for it. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's good. Boom. Yo. Yeah. So I might be doing another one of these. I can't help myself. It keeps me going. If I'm doing them live, it keeps me going, guys. So this is the reason why I kind of want to be doing these more often, is because editing takes forever, and I end up noticing I'm spending more time editing than I am getting stuff done, and I want to be getting stuff done. So these live ones allow me to do this. And if I do another one later on at night, so like after everyone comes home from work, if they wouldn't mind chilling back and seeing this, or if it would just be a little tedium, but I'm going to be doing another thing, not Majora's Mask, but I'll be working on another sculpture and jabbering, as I always do. Filling the void with noise. And right now, I'm all tech headed out. I've been going all tech. Watching people do goofy robotic stuff. I got my 3D programs that I run with. I got the things that I've been working on. I got projects in the work. I want to be working on them, but it's just got to go to work, and that takes away from being able to do cool stuff like robotics and doing fun, edgy art thingies. Let me see here. Boom. Let's go. Yo. Boom. Now I'm dipping straight down to the bottom and just doing it since I'm in the zone. Okay. Let me see. Where do I want to see this from? So I bring my eyes out of focus because I don't want to see the middle line because that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at these lines here to see if I'm bringing them together right. Like, I know this one's going to still change. So as I start this one, I want to see, do I want to come back over here? So I'm tightening this side up as I'm not tightening this. So I have to bring this one over now. So I got to bring this one almost this way more. And then I bring my eyes out of focus to see if the tips go together right and all the stuff's going right. Because, like I said, I don't have a center line right. I made it like it's an old chunk of wood that's probably been warped and moved and bent and just kind of, it's just been living for. That's kind of what it seems like to me. It's just like an entity of itself, this mask. And I don't really know what the timeline. I mean, I was looking at some of the stuff. I myself was looking into the history a little as I'm doing this. I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't have much time to always sit around and I end up watching YouTube videos on it. Maybe I'll put some links to other videos where I'm finding my history information out on these things. Okay, so like I said, I like to get the width of my brush is kind of important because sometimes that ends up becoming the whole. So I see where that meets up down at the bottom over here. I'm just gonna kind of come close because I know I was talking about these horns yesterday a little. And I wanted to show everybody how I really get them to. That's pretty good right there. Mod Podge, gotta get this stuff. That's the horns were just kind of furry foam after I sanded and grounded them and then kind of gave them a little bit of heat to pull some of the foam and fuzz off. Mod Podge was what gave me my texture back the way I wanted it. And then layering it with paint is another thing. So paint ends up becoming multiple layers of thickness. And now they're smooth. They kind of feel like bone. I love that. That's what I wanted. So when I'm done, I might even dry brush a little bit of cream white over the top of like the back area here, maybe a little over the tip, just to kind of give it like a bone look. Same with up on the top. This is supposed to represent wood. So it has that wood grained texture. And these are, like I said, they're smooth. They're real smooth. They're real nice. But they're foam, so they're squishy. So that way, you know, you don't really hurt yourself with them. They have a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of wobble. I took this is a resin, fiberglass resin. And I just took contact cement to my foam, the contact to put down. Once it's dry, it ain't going nowhere. And then I use my Mod Podge to seal all the cracks. You can add a little substance to your Mod Podge if you want. Like if you got other kind of like material that you would want to add into it. Like they sell stuff for like acrylic-based things that you can use, sands and stuff to texture it. If you were to use some sand into your Mod Podge, like some of that artist sand, you know, whatever grit you want it to be, then you can kind of, Mod Podge is real thick. I love it. You can water it down if you want it to be thinner, you know, if you want to put it over like paper. Like I use Mod Podge if I want to like cut out like a piece of something. I don't mind. It's going to be straight wood, So I'll glue the paper straight to the top of it. If I know I'm gonna sand off all the top anyways, if I use a nice clean piece of wood, I'll just glue. So I'll just take and thin out some Mod Podge, wipe it down, and then do the same to the paper, and then it sticks. And then when it dries, I just start carving straight to that. You can use wood glue too, but I mean, Mod Podge is a thick artist wood glue, putty, paste, not putty, paste. Okay, it looks a little chunky, so I'm gonna smooth it out. I'm just swiping the edge of my brush. I can see the width of it right here perfectly. This is like the width I want to keep it. So I'm just going to keep kind of rolling my fingers with it as it's turning and stuff to keep the distancing proper. And I'm looking at the line kind of forming behind it so I can meet them up as close as possible. And it did thicken in here, but that's fine. I'll do the same to this side over here. Some of your lines thicken, some of them thin. Like I'm looking at some of the other artists do it. It's always kind of a way to kind of play with going around corners funny or something. You just thicken and thin it. But as long as the lines are clean and straight, try to keep them clean and straight. Anywhere they kind of go and get a little chunky or choppy, it just starts getting a little ugly. So everybody, I got myself lined up. I am now at least lined up. So I'm going to clean up these lines. I made them thicker here than here. And I might go through some of the red and clean up some of that and tighten it up a little bit with the other color I was using yesterday to kind of re-redden this up. Retighten that line back up again, then re-whiten. I'll kind of play with that until it looks clean and perfect. And then from there, I'm going to do a couple different things before I want to add a couple. Most of them have these little triangles that show up right here that I'm going to do. So I'm going to do some triangles that show up here. And yeah, some of them have different colors in here. I don't think I'm going to do that. But yeah, this has still got a little touching up a certain. I'm probably going to work on that tonight when I come home. I come home from work, I'll probably end up jamming on that. So this is our live show that I'm going to be doing at 7 o'clock in the morning. Every morning, grab your coffee, come on over and check this out. It is, I'm going to still have my other shows that we are editing up and getting things going. It's going to be mostly me and my son's stuff. He's going to have some fun videos coming up, JohnnyTronic. And we're going to be doing things with Pokemon video games. As you see, we're going to be getting our stream set up so we can bust some video games for everybody. He's flat out phenomenal. I don't know. I start playing the game to get him interested sometimes, and then he turns around and then dominates me clearly. I wish I had that. And then I go, okay, I find a part I like it and come back and do a project. So that way I don't have to keep playing and I get my booty kicked. Other than that, come check us out. Live at 7, DaddyBot JohnnyTronic channel. And on that note, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, everybody. Send it to people. We got to get people on this. The conversation can be driven. I have a little chat bar on the side here. I'm looking. No one's talking to me, so I ain't saying nothing. Talk to me. We'll have great conversation. Other than that, keep showing up every single day, live at 7. I'm going to be sending out better promos on all this right now. I'm actually making some sweet art promos. They're going to look fun. I like to do things poppy and live, a lot of color. So you'll see my stuff popping up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And like them, comment on those as well. Tell me which ones you like of those. Sometimes I'll send out maybe 2 or 3 because I don't always know for an episode because I like them all because I'm a goofball. And other than that, Bada boom. Check us out. JohnnyTronic, DaddyBot and JohnnyTronic. Thank y'all.